Hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Today we're going to be running through Euro weakness with Euro USD and Euro JPY.
Before we get into it, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on any content.
So let's get into it. Right guys, I'm going to be running through Euro USD, starting on the daily chart, just looking at price action, where we are in the market and how the market has moved. So as you draw your attention down here on April time 2020, we had this area of accumulation where price was ranging, and then we had that break to the upside, giving us first impulsive move to the upside. Now, using Elliott wave theory, we can see this is the first initial impulse. We had that correction, then had that third wave. Then from the third to fourth wave, we had another correction where we're just moving sideways, made this double bottom in the market. And then from there, we had that push to the upside, giving us that fifth wave. Now, normally at this type of level, we can start seeing reversals. So let's jump on the smaller time frames to go and see where that's going to happen. So we'll jump on the 4 hour. We can see this a lot clearly. Right, as you can see, we had this inner trend line here where we had that 1-2 touch, and we were just trading in towards it, as you can see here. And when we got here, we was forming some sort of wedge pattern where we're squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. And then from that fifth, we then had that impulsive move to the downside, breaking structure. So with that break, we then had an impulse, correction, and now continuation. And now this is the area we're looking for. Looking at continuation to continue down and hit our psychology level here at 1.2. So if I can start drawing some technicals from here, we can start to say that we're in a bearish downtrend as shown here, and a nice level of support and resistance as we can see here, where we had those that bearish candle came down here and we had another bullish one up. So that area there is area sensitivity, which as we can see, we have broken that, making a low in the market. So that's the area we would like to target there. So now we can jump down on the smaller time frames and try to pinpoint that exact entry that we need. So I jump down on the 1 hour. Yeah, this is what we can see. So you can see how this downtrend has been very well respected. Nice touches, rejecting it. And you can see from this touch here, we had that impulsive move to the downside. So from here, a trader would draw Fibonacci for swing high to swing low. And then now we can start to predict that price can start pulling back up into this region before looking for that sell back down, because the trend is your friend. Should be going along with the trend. So we're waiting for that pullback back into that region and then sell. Now the requirements, what we're looking for is something that we'll run through in our course and something we'll run through with our premium group throughout the week. So make sure you get joining and you get part of that so you can get the full content of this breakdown. So once this happens, we'll be then targeting 1.2 and looking for a sell in this market as we are sell buyers.
Okay guys, so I'm going to be doing top-down analysis on Euro JPY. Starting on the monthly time frame, we like to draw in our psychological levels, which are rounded numbers within the market. So starting down here at support, we can see we have a nice level at 96.0. We also have an upper level up here at 148.0. And we also have two mid-range zones within the market at around 116. As you can see, a lot of touches throughout the market through here. And also 127.5, which is our most interested psychological level at the moment, as it's where price is near. And you can see within the market, there is a lot of touches throughout where it's been used as support and resistance. And that's what we like to see, is areas in the market where it's being used as both support and resistance. So we've got a nice psychological level in there. Dropping it down to the weekly time frame, what can we see? So we can get a nice, more zoomed in detail of the 127.5 psychological level, and we can see that previously in the market, if I just highlight over here, where prices previously touched it exactly to the pit, we've seen a nice movement to the downside, nice bearish movement to the downside. And then as you can see, prices now just come up and touch the exact same level. And you can see previously we've seen wick rejections here where we haven't actually quite touched the level, and we haven't actually seen the push to the downside that we want. But now, as you can see, we've actually come up to touch this level, and we've seen a big bearish engulfing candle on the weekly time frame. So this could be early signs of a big move to the downside, as you can see that we've had previously. So this is something that we might get in the longer term. So, but we're going to jump down to the lower timeframes to see what it's looking like. Because as you can see, we are still uptrending, which is why I visualized it with this uptrend. As you can see, the market is actually still uptrending on the weekly time frame. So we need to take that into consideration and not be greedy and start taking sales all the way down to the bottom here. So yeah, main thing to take into consideration on the weekly time frame is how we've come up, touched the psychological level, and we formed this nice bearish engulfing candle, completely taking out all the previous dojis within the market. If I drop it down to the daily time frame now, what does it look like we've had? So you can see bullish market structure on a daily time frame. We had like this inverse head and shoulders here, where we've got the left shoulder, we've got the head, and we've got the right shoulder. And then we made this movement to the upside. And as you can see, as we're approaching this previous level of resistance in the market, you can see as we're approaching it, these previous buyers who took their buy positions here are exiting their positions. And it's at the moment, it's just slowing down in momentum. As you can see, all the indecision, the dojis, there's not much going on at this level apart from people taking their profits, exiting their positions, waiting for the next move in the market to happen. So what has actually happened now? Well, we can see, like taking into consideration that weekly candle we saw, we can see this is broken down here on the daily time frame. You can see we've had a nice impulsive move to the downside, which is basically giving us our confirmation that sellers are taking control. Now, what we're looking for in the market now is a much larger pullback towards this head and shoulders. As you can see, we do have the left shoulder and the head and the right shoulder, but we also have the neckline through here, which is being used as a nice area of sensitivity in the market. As you can see, being used as support, being used as resistance, and resistance again, and then resistance, and then we finally broke through to the upside. So what we're potentially getting now is a much larger pullback into this level here. However, as you can see, we haven't actually touched this level yet. We haven't actually approached this level. So this is potentially where price is aiming for. This is where we can expect price to be moving to in the longer term. So what does that also line up with? It also lines up with our much larger uptrend that we can see. We've got the 1, the 2, and we could potentially be coming down to make the third touch of this. So that's where we'd be looking to target for our sell positions. So we've had a nice break of this. We've broken out of this inner trend line. We've got the 1, we've got the 2. You can see the doji here, where we've tried to make a final push to the upside. However, sellers have stepped in and we've seen the movement to the downside. I'll drop it down to the 4-hour now. You can see this clearer. You can see this ascending channel here where we've been avoiding trading within, because as you can see, it's very messy, it's very sideways, a lot of indecision within the market until previously. We've had a nice breakout to the downside, which has given us our confirmation, our directional bias to start looking for sell positions. And the way we're going to look for that to happen is we're going to look for price to pull back to create a lower high in the market, and then we'll trade the continuation into this area of support that we've just spoken about previously, which is a much higher time frame level in the market. So the way we're going to look to enter this is going to be broken down in our premium group. Our specific entries are broken down in our course. So if you want to know how we're actually going to enter this and how we're going to look to precisely enter the market in this situation, you can learn that in our course or by joining our premium group. But yeah, this is basically a breakdown of Euro JPY, a sell bias going into next week.